Welcome to another episode of Mighty Car Mods, and it's a very exciting day because we have got a brand new project car coming right at you. Now this time, I'm usually the one that goes and buys completely nuggety cars off the internet, but no, this time we've decided to do it right, and it's Marty who's bought a car. He's going to be turning up with it any minute. You're going to see it for the first time. I'm going to see it for the first time.
I broke it. Yeah, dude.
You just crashed into it.
It's fine, don't worry about it.
Man,
they're cheap, who cares? It'll be sweet.
You just smashed the mirrors off.
That doesn't matter, we don't need the mirrors.
Okay.
We don't need the mirrors. How good is it? Look.
Why? I'm shocked that you crashed into the wall, but I'm also shocked as to why.
Cheapest.
Why do we have another one?
Cheapest on the internet. Sight unseen, cheapest one with rego.
But why?
6-cylinder.
Why?
6-cylinder.
Not turbo.
No.
Not fast.
No, well, no, they're kind of
naturally
fast.
aspirated.
Yeah, but it's cool, man. It's got lots of cool stuff going on. See, this. Don't worry about this. This is fine. Do you know why this is fine?
Oh, the disappointment is real, Martin.
Just wait there, dude.
Oh. See, this is why, people, you got to let me buy the cars off the internet. You got to let me buy the cheapest. Oh no, I can hear another one. I can hear another car starting outside. See, when I buy the cheapest, nuggetiest car off the internet, you know it's going to be something awesome. When Martin buys something cheap and nuggety off the internet, it's going to, oh no!
I got another one!
Why?
Spares!
Why, Martin?
Spare mirrors! This is awesome. Because it's going to be epic.
What are we doing?
It's going to be epic. It's going to be so good.
Oh, Martin.
Don't worry about it, man. Before you judge...
Martin, why? Why have you done it? They're Subarus. They're not even the cool ones. It's like a Supergrams one.
Yeah, but they were cheap.
It's the uncoolest ones.
They were really cheap.
Oh,
cheapest
Martin.
on the internet, running and registered. Cheapest out, it's a wreck. That one's a wreck.
Okay.
But don't worry about it. It's still going to be fine.
And sight unseen.
Yeah, of course.
Search by cheapest, buy now.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, Martin.
Before you judge, let's just take this one for a drive.
Oh. It's modified. I knew it. I knew something special would be going on.
Sure.
Can I just... Do we need this anymore?
No, not really.
Can I just...
Yeah, just yank it.
Really?
Yeah, well, that's what that car's for.
But, because we probably shouldn't drive with this just...
We're not using this.
Are we?
We're not using this. Don't worry about it. Well,
yes.
now we're definitely not using it.
Woo!
In the bin.
All right, we go for a drive, except we're going to crash into that on the way
We'll move
out.
that one.
Okay,
Don't worry about it.
Let's move this. I'll help you push it out. This drives, does it?
Oh, it's got a death rattle. So
I'll move that. You get in the other one. I'll move this one. You get in that one. You drive that one out. Then I'll get in. We'll go for a drive, and you can explain to me why it is that you've bought two.
This is so awesome.
Shit heap Subarus
dude,
again.
Not shit heap.
Yeah. I don't quite understand what it is that I'm meant to be getting out of this drive, Martin.
But I just want to show you how good it is. Like, a Subaru can be this cheap and still be awesome. It's torquey, it's 6-cylinder, it's comfortable, we've got aircon.
How much was it?
It was cheap. It was like, I don't know, $3,000 or something? Come on, that's how much I paid for 2 Sexy, and that was a nugget.
Why
This is
though?
awesome. Because
Why? Why this?
Because I want to do something that we have never, ever done before.
We've done this exact car.
No, we haven't.
We've done this exact thing. Is it not like a kind of a turbocharged version of that that's in the same year model of Supergrams?
It's a Gen 4. Yes, it's a Gen 4 like Supergrams, but it's not about the car, man. You're seeing the forest.
It's all about the car.
You're seeing the forest
Everything
and
is
not
about
the
car,
trees.
man. No, everything is about the car. When I buy nugget cars, I'm trying to take us on journeys of things we haven't done before, man.
But we haven't done this before, man.
We've done this exact same car before.
No.
You're driving me crazy,
Not
man.
exactly this before, man. I want to do something that we've never ever done.
So what are we doing? What's the big plan? What's the plan, Martin?
I don't want to give it, dude.
I want to do something we've never done before, but I'm not going to tell you what the is.
No, but it is. It's good, man. It's different. You're going to have an adventure.
Stop, man.
We're going to be so
Just
set
stop.
up for adventures.
No, don't argue in front of the kids, you know? Just stop. It's uncomfortable for everyone. Just take us back to the shed and let me out, man. You know, it stinks. It's a waste of money. $3,000 is too much for a car like this. Is my seat even bolted in?
I don't know.
What?
It's got a
Why
cage.
is there a roll cage in it
Because
already?
I sent my mate down to go put a
Why
cage
has
in
it already got a roll
Because I
cage?
care about your safety.
No, you
I
don't care about my
care.
safety. You just crashed into the wall,
We don't
man.
need that mirror, I
Why
told
don't
you.
Why don't we need the mirror?
Because we're doing
Why do we have a roll
something
cage?
different.
Just tell me what we're
We're
doing.
doing it something different, all right?
You're driving me crazy.
I'll explain everything.
Being married to you is hard work, man.
All right, dudes, thank you for joining me on this very important, I'm going to call it a journey. We're going to call this a family meeting because, you know, we're all friends and family. It's important that we sort of get all this covered before we even start. As you can see, we have this amazingly just brilliant piece of engineering behind us, this Subaru. It's a 3 litre, which I know you're all very excited about. The drive may not have impressed everyone, but my plan about what we're going to do to this mad car is definitely going to impress. New skids, gonna be the best.
Okay, it's making some sense.
Yeah.
But what do we, like, how do we actually do it?
Well, all will be revealed as we do it. I reckon
Okay.
as we do it, we start bolting stuff into it. We
Yes.
start modifying.
Okay.
Marty car mods, modifying our car.
Yep.
With our mods.
And that's what all this is?
That's what all this stuff is. It's been sitting around here. So we're gonna modify it.
Yes.
And you'll see.
And we're turbocharging it?
No.
Right? We're not?
No, we're not turboing it.
We're not?
We don't need to. It's already fast.
We're not turbocharging?
We don't need. It'll be sweet. Put some pipes out the side. It'll be great, man.
So what's all of this?
This is to modify it so it's fit for purpose.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Are we just going to start?
We're gonna crack into it. You ready?
3. We got to kick the music.
Kick the music.
3, 2, 1. Boom.
Of course, the first step is to jack up the car. We've got not one, but 2 of these Liberties to work with. The 5 of us are going to work together to strip out the sedan, ready for our mods to begin. First up, it's panels, side skirts, glass and doors all off and out of the way.
Okay, so we've completely stripped this car of everything that we need, and from what I understand, everything from this car is now going on the other one. It's interesting when you pull stuff apart from cars, because under this seat I found not only 2 used condom packets, but also some no-dos.
Oh, some no-dos.
So I don't know what was going on in here. But Marty, so now everything from this car goes on the other car that was missing the stuff?
No.
Okay.
It's just fun keeping you in suspense a little bit.
But I just told the people that all this stuff's going on the other car that was missing the stuff. Okay.
Incorrect.
Okay.
What we've taken off this car is everything that we don't need. And the other
Oh, we're
car,
keeping this bit.
Yeah, dude, it's got a mad cage in it, and this has
Yes.
a 3 litre, 6-cylinder engine. It's got a 6-speed gearbox, same as Supergrams, which
Yes.
are good for 400 kilowatts, of which we will need 140 of. And then we've also got a good R180 diff in it, which is the reason that I chose this particular vehicle. Now, sedans are also about a third cheaper than wagons, by the way, which is one of the reasons we have a sedan. And secondly, I thought sedan just be something fun and different, because we've done our share of wagons, wouldn't you say? Your Golf is a wagon, isn't it?
Maybe there's a reason this car comes with no-dos. Because the amount of Subaru rubbish you talk, I'm going
Come
to
on,
need
man,
this.
it's good. You love it. You had
All
a
right,
Subaru.
so
It
we
was your
throw this
favourite
away
car
now.
ever.
No, so we keep this one. But we
keep
throw
this
the other
one.
way around.
Now,
We're
you might
having
have
both.
noticed. Did you notice something particularly interesting about the other Subaru?
Yes, I'll tell you what I noticed. It only just worked.
Yep.
It smelt like it had a coolant leak.
Yep.
It seemed to be leaking something. It's
Yep.
got no rear bumper. It
Yep.
was unregistered.
Yep.
Anything else?
But you know what's good about it? It's an Outback.
Okay.
Why
I've never
Outback?
heard anyone say that
But
before.
why? Yeah, but you know why Outbacks are cool?
Because someone's mum had one to take.
There was that.
Kids.
Do you know why else they're cool?
They're not.
They got factory lift kits, dude.
Okay.
And what would make this car cooler than having an Outback lift kit installed into it? So our next step is to pull the Outback in here, pull the lift kit out of the Outback, pull the suspension out of this, put the lift kit suspension in this, and just
But this is an Outback just without the Outback suspension. If you get the Outback suspension and put it in this, and then just, I'm assuming we took the doors off because the Outback doors are going on this.
You know it.
We're just making another Outback.
No, we're not, because you can't get Outback sedans, dude. Well, you could in America. They made about 30 of them.
This episode of Mighty Cummins, we're making an Outback sedan.
Dude, we're not. It's
Stay
way
with
cooler.
us, people,
It's way
please.
cooler than that. You just need to have some faith, man. Have I ever let you down? Ever?
Well. So this here's the fancy diff, is it, Martin?
Yep.
It's not a fancy diff.
Our diff is the second fanciest one that Subaru made and will serve our purposes just fine, as will these mad seats I got from the wreckers.
So these are Subaru Impreza RS seats from an 08, which means they fit the same chassis as our Subaru Liberty.
They're so much nicer.
They're nicer, aren't they? And they're manual seats, which is cool, so no big motor, heavy motors.
And so much lighter as well.
Yep, and they've got the cutout for the harnesses, so you can run a harness with it.
Yep.
Which is cool, which is great because we've got our roll bar, roll cuff, roll cage thing, which also has the harness attachment, so that will work very nicely. Well, here's your extra bolt, man.
Oh, thank you, Martin. Good service.
The most cross-threaded bolts in history, these ones.
It's now time to bring in the Outback wreck and steal all the panels and parts off it that we need to put into our sedan. Most of them fit, although we do have to change the windows. While we're busy panelling, Al is cooking up a plan for an epic exhaust setup.
I don't know exactly what you're going for here, Martin, but it's
Flawless.
kind of looking cool.
It is looking cool.
Sorta?
It's like, it's got all the pumped mad Outback stuff, and I mean, that's a pretty simple upgrade, isn't it? If you've got the Outback that was a cheap wreck and you can just smash them straight on. Obviously, there's some issues with the colour. But that's something we can also address later.
Okay.
But it looks fat. We've even got these that Benny managed to get on, which is cool, and we'll put the little back bits on so it looks complete.
Yep.
And then it's all about some suspension and some engine stuff then.
Being the same generation car, there's only slight differences in the fit of the various panels. We're using the Outback headlights and front bar, but that won't stay standard for very long.
We have some uprated, aftermarket, fat shafted shocks that are for an Outback. Now, we don't have an Outback, we have a Liberty. So that's why we also have an Outback that we can steal all the suspension from to throw into our Liberty, to then put Outback suspension in, which is extra heavy duty.
And why does that make our car lower though?
No, it doesn't. It makes it higher.
We're making the car higher.
We're going to raise it. We're raising it anyway with our Outback, then we're going to raise it again with...
Is that what this is?
One of those boxes. They might be spaces, but I'm pretty sure that box there is a lift kit for a BP Outback. So to make that fit our sedan, we are going to have to graft in some of the Outback suspension. So we'll have to pull it out of that car, put it in this. It should all bolt in, hopefully. So this is pretty cool because they're like these massive big machined plates that sit on the top of your shock like that. So you've got the strut top, then you put it there, and that pumps the whole car up. But there's a limit to how far you can go. If you go too far, you start wrecking your drive shafts and having other issues to do with suspension and steering. They look like the rears. So yeah, so it basically
Is that the amount that it lifts your car by?
Yeah, so that'll go between the top of the strut, the rear strut, and the body, which pushes everything down, sort of lifts it off.
Yeah, I see.
And this does the same, similar to what we did on Mod Max.
Kind of on Mod Max, except Mod Max we were just using like square, like steel square, weren't we?
They were just like custom.
and just like cutting it in and sticking it in there.
Exactly, custom CNC'd for the front and then some tube for the back. But this is designed specifically for this car, so that'll fit in there. And we've also got some extra bits and pieces that actually space the subframes correctly. So if you just do the shocks, it puts all your suspension out of whack.
Yeah.
But if you do the shocks and the actual subframes, everything gets lifted. So essentially this comes down, which pushes the car up.
Okay. So, no, I mean, I'm going with you on the roller coaster, man. But the thing is that by the time we put the wheels back on and it's high, there's going to be this massive gap between the wheels and there, and that's going to look kind of stupid.
Well, that's why we're not going to use these wheels.
Oh, okay.
I got some special wheels on their way.
Oh, wow.
They're so awesome, man.
Okay.
You're going to love it.
All right.
You're going to just... Are you just getting your Subaru fizz back? You know your fizz you had when you had your WRX and you're all fizzy all the time?
I think I know what's
Every
happening
day
now.
I saw you were just like all fizzed up.
The best car I've ever not owned anymore. I think I know what's happening now, Martin.
What?
We're back, aren't we?
What do you mean?
The worm is eating its own tail. It's ingesting itself. We're doing Nissan versus Subaru, aren't we?
No.
We're making an off-road Subaru to battle Mod Max.
Look, I'm not
Is that what we're
confirming nor denying either of those things. This would chop Mod Max so hard. Oh my God. This would just
I think that's what's happening, people. I think we're doing an off-road Subaru versus off-road Nissan.
That's not the purpose of putting this car together, okay? But that is something that potentially could happen.
Martin, what are we doing next?
Okay, so next we're going to rip the suspension out of this, rip the suspension out of the Outback, put the Outback suspension in this, then put our mad new shocks in, our mad new springs in, and essentially we'll have all new suspension in the rear that jacks the car up.
Excellent.
Our Subilift Oz kit is made for Outbacks. We have a sedan, so first we have to make the underside of our 6-cylinder sedan the same as the Outback. That involves borrowing subframes and suspension bits and transferring them across. Having a wreck that we can pick to pieces makes this a whole lot easier, and it's not the first time Al has played this game, having wrecked hundreds of Subarus over his career.
I am pulling the entire rear subframe out of this Outback, and we're going to swap it into the Liberty sedan. We're also going to pull the front cross member and all the front suspension out as well, because in these later model Gen 4 onwards, they've actually built a lot of the lift kit that used to be sort of a bolt-on thing is actually built into the design of the cross members now, instead of being just a spacer as they were before. So for that reason, the two cross members are actually a different shape, and we have to just swap them over. It's the easiest way to do it. So lucky we've got this.
Some chopping is required, but the subframe comes out without too much drama. And now the sedan is getting the same treatment from Benny.
Decided to actually swap the subframes over completely rather than try and piece bits together. So I'm pulling the Liberty subframe out at the moment. I've also disassembled the handbrake because we actually need to reuse the handbrake cable on this one. And I've just unbolted the tail shaft. So the next part of the process is just to undo all the brake lines. Then we're pretty much ready to drop the whole cradle down out from under the car and start the swap for the Outback one.
The Outback diff is not special, so our limited slip sedan diff is getting swapped in, and the shafts are the same, so we can keep them as spares. Work is progressing on swapping our new suspension in, and we can crack open some more mad parts.
So Alan and Benny have dropped out the subframes out of these two cars, both having done it many, many times in their lives as Subaru mechanics. So this is the subframe from the Outback.
And what's funny about this one is this one's getting wreckered.
Yeah.
So basically that
fast.
means this one's coming out just with angle grinders.
Yep, so that comes out at about half the time of this one because we need to keep things from this. So the diff is the most important part of this one because this diff matches our gearbox. We can't just throw that diff from the Outback in because it might not be the right ratio. Then your front and back wheels are spinning at different speeds and that's bad because things blow up. So now we just need to swap a few things across and then slap this rear subframe back into the car.
That diff into here but everything else here we're using.
Yep.
But this suspension's coming out, and that's what Ian's working on at the moment.
Exactly.
But that stuff's not working, is it?
Well, the suspension that we got is apparently for an Outback, except it doesn't fit an Outback, and we know it fits a sedan because we have both.
Yes.
So we're pretty sure that we were able to fix that listing.
And that's the suspension that we bought on eBay that doesn't say
eBay,
what it
heavy-duty
says it's meant to
suspension.
do. But
Doesn't-
we're trying to make that work
Doesn't
at
fit
the moment.
So this will all go back in with the correct diff.
Bolt-on.
But also before this goes in, we have to put all our spacers on it. So we're going to space it out from the actual body and space out the top of the shocks, and we'll have a lifted Liberty.
Because the car doesn't actually lift up. All of this stuff spaces down.
If you think about it too much, your head explodes.
Is that right, though? Like, we're spacing that down. Because the engine's going to sit lower. Is that
Higher.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. Excellent. All right, good.
What's the question?
Yes,
I don't know.
Nothing. Let's go with it.
Let's go with that.
The subframes are modular, making them quick and easy to install at the factory when the car was built, which also makes it super easy for us to modify and then install into our car with the extra lift on it. By flipping the subframe upside down, we don't have to undo any of the control arms, and we can lift the diff up and out of the way and pop the drive shafts straight out. The drive shafts are clipped in and the diff can be bolted back into place. The next job is removing the front subframe from the Outback to put in our sedan. We're also grabbing the Outback tail shaft as it's slightly different.
We've had a super productive day. We're totally finished now with that Outback. That can go away. We've put all the panels that we can use onto this car. We've tidied up this engine bay, getting it ready for some other cool stuff that's going to come up soon. We've got the subframe out of the front of the Outback, which has the higher area here, which essentially spaces everything. Next, we can put our lift kit in, and then we can test fit a set of tyres that I've got on the way that look freaking amazing. So we'll get stuck into that in the morning.
When the build continues, we'll get our mad tyres and wheels on and get this Outback ready for, well, you'll find out.